Welcome back to Fat Cloud TV, brought to you by Vaping. In this episode, we're doing a quick review and comparison video of the Aspire AVP Pod System and letting you know our full thoughts. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you a quick review of the Aspire AVP Pod System or Aio Kit. This is Aspire's newest pod system. Aspire has released quite a few products in the past, and they're relatively well known throughout the vape industry. This is their newest pod kit, and it does offer quite a few different features from other pod systems and their previous releases. I'm not going to go up close because this is a really simple device. Everything that's included is pretty much standard, but this is the box. This is the rainbow color. Inside of the box, you do get 2 pods, the actual device, a lanyard, a charging cable, and a user manual. Here's the device real quick. As you can see, it's very small. I think the battery is about 900 or 950 mAh, so it's actually pretty good when it comes to the actual size of the device. I've been using this device for about a week and a half or so, really using it as an all-day vape device, alongside the other carries that I use during the day, and I actually like it a lot. Some of my pod systems I use all the time are actually relatively similar size or smaller and don't have as much battery life, but I'll get to that a little bit later on. First, I want to give you my thoughts on the actual AVP. So let me take a vape and show you some vape production, even though, it's a pod system. Now, plenty of vapor. I do have some 20 milligram nicotine salts in here. Now, what's really good about this device is that you could choose from 3 different power outputs by simply clicking the button. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a button at the bottom here that you can click 3 times, or you can click it once to see your battery level. Also, while you're vaping, it lights up to show you your battery level. But with 3 clicks, you can change it and switch through like a low, medium, and high, and you can kind of customize your vape a little bit. It's not like a fully regulated, like say if you were vaping on a mouth-to-lung tank or something, or a box mod, but it still gives you an option. A lot of pod systems are just, you can't really do anything. So it's nice to see that this one gives you that option. Now, I do like it between the middle and the high power output, and that gives me a little bit of a warmer vape, and it just kind of fits my style better. But of course, that's all subjective. Whatever you like, you'll set it to whatever you like. But let me talk about the flavor. Now, I will say these coils or pods do have a little bit of breaking time. I would say maybe like a mil, so about half the pod, because these pods hold about 2 ml of juice. Filling it is also very easy. I'm not sure if you see that, but on this side, you'll see that there's a little fill port, and all you do is literally push the needle top of like a unicorn bottle or whatever, or drop a bottle, push it in, it opens up. It's like a lever almost, and when you push it, you fill, and then when you pull your bottle out, it closes the hole. So there's literally no mess at all. This is very, very easy to fill. It's a bottom fill. A lot of pods have bottom fills. That's not necessarily a con or anything. But in comparison to some other pods, this is a whole lot easier to fill. It is magnetized, so as you see here, it just, it stays in, no problem. See, it's not going anywhere or anything like that. Now, when it comes to airflow, I know this is a big thing when it comes to pod systems. A lot of pod systems do have a little bit more airflow than people will probably like if they're really looking for that mouth-to-lung vape. This one, I would say, is a little bit more on the airier side than some of the other ones, but it's not too airy, but nor is it too tight. So it's kind of like in the middle. I don't know if you can hear it, but now, like I said, it's kind of like in the middle. The airflow comes in right here. You see there's like a small airflow port. If you put your hand over or finger, like you will reduce the air that's coming in. and give you a tighter draw. But honestly, I mean, it could be seen as like somewhat of a little con because sometimes I find myself covering it by accident. But it doesn't happen too often where I would say it's like annoying or anything like that. Maybe like once in a while, I'll be, oh shoot, I covered the airflow hole. But in regards to performance, it performs well. I mean, it's a pod system. The flavor is actually very, very good. Like I said, it does have a little bit of breaking time, so don't expect full-on flavor until about, I don't know, it depends on how much you vape, but say halfway through a full pod, you'll definitely start getting a whole lot of flavor. And the throat hit is actually very good. At 20 milligram salts, I mean, that's my preferred nic. You could put any type of e-juice, really. You don't have to just stick with nicotine salts. But yeah, I mean, the flavor is very, very good. I have right now some of the Smoothie Maui review on the VaporTube website if you want to check that out. It's like a mango smoothie type of flavor. It's very good. And I'm getting all the flavor notes that, I vaped this flavor before, so I know exactly what to look for in the actual e-juice. And I'm getting all the flavor notes like the mango, the creaminess. So I'll say flavor is definitely one of the biggest pros I would give to this pod system because I've tried a lot of pod systems, like 30 pod systems, and this one is definitely above many of them, if not all of them, when it comes to flavor. And the resistance of this coil is a 1.2 ohm, so it's great for like mouth-to-lung, low wattage vaping, as you'd expect with pod systems of this size. I mean, vaping production is really good. It's nothing to go crazy about, obviously, but it is actually very good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go grab a couple pod systems and, show you and compare them to one another and let you know my final thoughts on the actual Aspire AVP pod system. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple of pod systems that are both popular and some of my personal favorites as well. So the first one I'm going to compare it to is the Smoke Nord or Smoke Nord. This one, I don't have a pod in it, but I just wanted to show you a comparison. See, this is what a pod included. I mean, it's about like the same height. I probably blocked it off there. They're around the same height. The Smoke Nord will be a little bit taller once it has a pod inside. Smoke Nord also has like a bit of a bigger battery, but I will say that the Smoke Nord, to me, is more of like a restricted direct lung, especially with the 0.6 ohm mesh coil. Like, those are, like, I mean, to me, like, I put like 6 milligram, free-base nicotine in there, or like 12 milligram salts. To me, that's more of like a direct lung experience. And I mean, it's popular because the coil heads are really good. Now, for the beginner, these are probably a lot easier because they don't have to replace coils. And once they're done with the actual pod, as in you're not getting the flavor, it's tasting burnt or whatever, they just chuck it. So in a comparison to the Nord, I like the Nord, like I said, as a restricted direct lung vape. I don't like it as a mouth to lung. I feel like it's too airy for sure. Like, I mean, some may disagree, which is totally okay. But to me, it shines when it comes to restricted direct lung vaping, and it's really good at that, honestly, with the Nord. But the Aspire, when it comes to mouth-to-lung vaping, this is where it's at. This is where it's like shining. It's not really a direct lung vape experience, which, I mean, for a pod system, a lot of people, I would assume, are looking for like a mouth-to-lung because they're putting salts in there. With a direct lung and you're vaping like 35 milligram salts or 50 milligram, I mean, it's going to like kill your throat there. But flavor-wise, I would say they're on par. I mean, like I said, the Nord coils are really good. But these Aspire coils, man, this pod is just excellent. The flavor I'm getting from it is very, very good. And, I'm kind of surprised of how good the flavor actually is. Like, it's becoming one of my favorite pod systems as I use it. Now, the second one I want to compare it to is the Soaring Drop. Now, obviously, the Soaring Drop is much smaller. But you got to keep in mind that it is housing a much smaller battery. They both have draw activated firing systems, but I do get leaking with the Soaring. I mean, I love this thing. Honestly, I've used this thing for like, I don't know, man, like a year and a half, give or take. So it's been like something I know. I vaped with it a long time, but it has its problems. I had a few Soren's Autofire. I don't know how. It's probably maybe because juice was leaking in there. Like I said, the pods were a little bit leaky. This, I've gotten 0 leaks. Like, it's completely dry. I can take it out right now, and it's like, it's dry. Like, there's nothing. There's no e-juice in there. And the Soren, after a while, it just leaks, and sometimes auto fires. It's still a good device when it actually works, but I'll definitely say the Aspire has got it beat. So, excuse my phone. Now, my favorite pod system that I don't think like a lot of people use like that is the JustFog Mini Fit. Now, I see the JustFog Mini Fit is obviously a whole lot smaller, thinner, but but this thing dies really quick. I mean, talking about like maybe like 2 hours. Like if you're vaping on it consistently, maybe probably less. This I could get through almost like at least half the day if this is the only thing I'm vaping on, at least half the day I'm getting through. Maybe even like more than that, like 3/4 a day. But the JustFog, I have to charge that thing like 2 to 3 times a day. I mean, it charges fast because the battery's little, but it's just it just becomes a hassle. And this is not that much bigger. So the Aspire definitely, I guess, wins in regards to like size and battery life. Now, when it comes to flavor, I definitely say the flavor on this is a little bit better than the JustFog. The JustFog does have a tighter draw. I'll show you. Not as much vapor, but this one has a little bit more airy draw, but the flavor is a little bit better. So, I mean, I know like the Nord and the Drop are 2 very popular ones, and these 3 are used like constantly, like in rotation. Especially the JustFog Mini Fit is probably the one I use every single day, and now this one is also being used every single day. Even after this review, I'm probably going to use this every day because of the battery life and the flavor and the ease of use. And another really good thing about this is that you could completely turn it off. The Soren, you can't do that with. And so, like, if it starts auto firing, you can't really do much there aside from take the pod out. I mean, each of them have safety features obviously built in. This has a bunch built in. But I think when it comes to the actual size, the performance, the ease of use, the Aspire is just really good in all of those. And the vape experience too, it's just really good. It gives you that mouth-to-lung vape, but like I said, it's just a little bit looser. For me personally, I just wish it was just slightly tighter, but it's not that big of a deal. I actually enjoy it. I'm getting a good throw hit, and everything is okay with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a vape, and I'm going to conclude this video and let you know my full final thoughts on the Aspire AVP Pod System. So in conclusion, honestly, I'm a big fan of the Aspire AVP. I think it performs well, it's easy to use, and Aspire is known for making some really good products, and this one is just another one to add to their list. They made great box mods, starter kits, vape pens, pod systems, you name it. Especially with the Aspire, Atlantis, that kind of revolutionized the sub-ohm type market. But when it comes to pod systems and this one, I think Aspire did a hell of a job. And I did, there's only so much you could go over with pod systems, so I did want to give a small comparison or a quick comparison of a couple popular ones and some of my personal favorites that I use in rotation fairly often. So I think price-wise too, this one is about $20, $30. I like the fact that it comes with 2 pods rather than 1, just in case one ends up, it's broken or something is wrong with it and it just doesn't work. I'm glad they include 2 in the packaging. The actual replacement pods too are fairly cheap when they come in a pack of 2, which is also a good thing. So you're not really breaking the bank with this one. So if you're looking for like a good pod system that lasts a fair amount of time throughout the day, definitely check this out. Or if you're a new vapor looking for something to make that transition, I definitely recommend checking this out too. But just keep in mind, like I said, it's a little bit on the airy side. It's not very, very tight, which for me is that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, I do wish it was just a little bit more tight, but I'm still getting a great vape. The flavor is really good, and honestly, it's just all around great device. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching Fat Cloud TV, brought to you by Vapor Cheap. As always, leave any questions or comments below. we're definitely look forward to hearing from you guys. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.